What an amazing tour. It was absolutely fascinating. I highly recommend it. If you're in Walhalla, come on the long extended mine tour. It is well worth it. Wow, amazing. Today, come with me on a 1-hour tour through the long extended gold mine in Walhalla, Victoria, Australia, a former gold mining boomtown. Okay, long tunnel extended gold mine. Walhalla is a 2.5 to 3 hour drive west from Melbourne in Gippsland, Victoria, Australia. Walhalla was once a booming gold mining town of over 3,500 residents. Today, there's just 20 residents in this historic town. There is a small gold museum here at the ticket office. It's free entry. There is lots of history in here. My advice is to pre-book a ticket online or over the phone. I just rocked up here on a Saturday expecting to buy a ticket for the 12 noon tour, but it was sold out and the queue was growing. I got a ticket for the 1:30 p.m. tour. The last ticket, mind you. The people behind me in the queue got on the 3 p.m. tour or the next day. Pre-book a ticket. There's only about 20 people per tour. It's very popular. A ticket is $25 per adult. Hi, welcome. If you're new here, I'm Linda. I'm here as a travel guide, so you know what to expect and can plan your travels for a better experience, to travel better. There is the tour I couldn't get on. Let's look around a bit. The tours run at 12 noon, 1:30 p.m. and 3 p.m. on Saturdays and Sundays, and at 1:30 p.m. during the week. There is a blacksmith shop here with more history. It is fascinating.
Because of them to reach these towns, miners had to walk long and arduous tracks from Melbourne.
We made landing on the first day, and 2 days later our troubles began. There was no road whatever, and Gray had never been seen here before. We followed the mailman's tracks.
There's the hard hats for the mine tour.
All the way by cutting the scrub on either side. The blue plaques and slops of the track made by mobs of travelling cattle were...
For the tour, arrive 15 minutes before the tour time. You need to check in, get your hairnet, get a hard hat and get accounted for. They're going in. I'm coming back in another hour.
You're on the next one, are you?
Yeah. Got my helmet, got my hairnet, got my helmet, and we're off into the mine. You do need to wear a hairnet and a hard hat for safety. I've been in the gold mines in Ballarat and Bendigo, both multiple times, but I've not been to this one, and this one is quite different from those. Waiting here for the guide and the group.
Want to gather up a bit, save me yelling. Alright, so welcome to Walhalla and welcome to the Long Tunnel Extended Gold Mine Tour. As I said, my name is Karen, or Kaz, and I'm going to be your tour guide for the next 45 minutes to an hour. We are going about 250 metres underground. It is a round trip of about 500. It is well lit and well ventilated throughout. We do have electric lighting as well. We do ask if everyone walk between the tracks because it's usually that little bit nicer underfoot. And we do ask that everyone just don't touch the walls or the ceilings, as it is rock and it can cut your hands. So just the other thing is we just ask if everyone stay together as a group. If ever anyone does want to leave at any stage, just please let me know so I know that my numbers are down and I do have one of my group walking away or heading out, because that is fine too. I do understand that people get a bit anxious underground. Fuel gold, they found that in 1862 and they found that in Stringers Creek that goes into the Thomson River. Now, I'm sure that most of you probably came across the Thomson Bridge as you've come into Walhalla today, so there is a little creek there that joins into that river, and that's where they originally found all that alluvial gold. They said there was that much gold in that section of the river, they could actually see it shining before they got in to start panning. There was that much gold. Now, Ned Stringer, he heads across to Bald Hills, which is now a town called Seaton. It was actually about a 2-week horse ride for him to get across there, make his claim and then come back. So you could imagine word of mouth getting out every time he stops, and he brings a bit of a gold rush here back here to Walhalla. Now within another couple of months there's even more men down here because they've got word that there's some gold around. So within a couple of months all that gold is taken up out of that creek, and now all these men need to find out where all that gold's been coming from. So they actually start searching the waterways, they start searching the hillsides, and it was a man by the name of John Hinchcliffe that actually finds our quartz outcrop up here on our western ridge. They test that quartz outcrop, they find that it is gold bearing, so now they've actually found where all this gold's been coming from. Now if you're not sure what quartz is that great big white stone over there in our metal garden, and if you hear me saying alluvial gold, which is what we get here in Walhalla, it is not like Bendigo where they get nice chunky nuggets in Ballarat. We are getting alluvial gold, which is almost like sand, so a lot more work is going into it to actually get some value out of it than just getting a nice chunky nugget. So a lot more work is going into it to find it, produce it, crush it, and all those kinds of things. Now by this stage, there's about 14 mines running in Walhalla, and it's 1865, and the Hercules gold mine raised up to £14,000 to actually start.
10 degrees in the mine today.
Excellent.
If I get you just to stop where it says wait for the mine guide, please.
In we go. Today it's 10 degrees in the mine. It's actually warmer inside the mine than outside today. Late autumn in Walhalla is cold. It's about 8 degrees at the moment. Wait here for the mine guide.
Everyone's ready, let's start making our way through this mine.
Our guide Karen gave lots of information. It was absolutely fascinating. There's so much more history and lots of information that Karen talked about. This is a 1-hour tour, and we are walking 270 metres into the mine and into the underground machinery chamber along Cohen's line of reef. Starting in 1865, the famous Long Tunnel Extended Gold Mine produced 13.7 tonnes of gold until it closed in 1914. The mine is 8.5 kilometres of underground workings, which extended to a depth of 923 metres below the machinery chamber. That's over a kilometre down from the surface. If you like this, please hit that like button. It helps my channel reach more people.
Take their time as we go through. If you happen to lose your helmet, please put it back on your head before you try and stand up or move along any further. Just take your time. But is there any questions before I move us out of this area? Everyone's pretty good? All right, let's keep moving along. As I said, please watch your heads as we go through.
I'm tall. Got to crouch. Wow. People are hitting their heads, so I'm quite low.
I don't think we'll go on that one.
Yeah.
No, not today. As I said, I apologise about that smell. Yeah. I just can't do anything about it. We've had a look everywhere, but some of the shafts and stuff we're not actually allowed
Heads
to
keep
go
hitting the
out.
top of
So,
the
safety precautions,
rock,
we're not
like
allowed
you've
to
got
actually go and check any
helmets on.
further than what we have. So unfortunately, with our managers being in and trying to go into a certain spot. Just come in a bit, guys. Just gonna let off. Try and step forward just that little bit. We'll let you out of that tunnel area. Alright, are you comfy? You good? Yeah. Alright. But in this mine, they would have been around that size adit that the men are working in, so very hard conditions. Now, Hercules get into here, they're pretty happy, so if everyone vein that is running through a hillside here. This is known as Cohen's Reef. This is what Hercules mine were looking for, and this is that Cohen's Reef. So it goes for about 3 to 4 kilometres all the way through our hillside, goes all the way to the surface, and then on a 70-degree angle all the way back into the hillside. So it is just a miraculous quartz reef. You'll also notice that there's a grey puggy clay that sits around it. That will also contain that alluvial gold, so over thousands of years of erosion That alluvial gold still gets its way through the hillsides and into the waterways today. But Hercules mine, I do still have a couple of tall ones, so please watch your heads as you go through. You might have to duck a couple of times.
We're a bit tall.
All right, let's keep moving along.
We're so tall.
But just not enough to mine for.
This mine was established in 1865 during the height of Victoria's gold rush. It wasn't the first mine in Walhalla, but it became the most successful. Miners here didn't rely on panning or surface digging. Instead, they carved deep into the side of the mountain, following a rich quartz reef that ran underground. Over the next 50 years, the Long Tunnel Extended Mine produced an incredible 13.7 tonnes of gold. At its peak, it employed hundreds of men, working day and night in harsh conditions. Mining here was dangerous, dirty work, but it made Walhalla one of the richest towns in the colony. The mine eventually closed in 1914 as the gold ran out and the town's fortunes faded. But what remains is a fascinating piece of Australia's gold rush history.
It is, we just can't get to it.
Okay.
Yeah, it's
Eventually
gonna,
it'll
yeah,
do.
it's gonna have to. We can't do too much about it. So, all right. I've got us all. Yep. All right. So we're now about 240 metres into the hillside, and it actually took the Long Tunnel Extended Gold Mine another 4 years to get to this section right here. They were still using that hammer and tap method. And it wasn't until about 1875 that they actually start using air or pneumatic rock drills like this one. Now these machines were also known as widowmakers back in the day. Now, mine managers don't like them. Mine managers just don't like them because no mine manager wants their mine to have downtime. It means it's not moving forward and making production. The men using them, these miners, they really don't like them. All right, darling. Yep, just straight down to the gate. Push your gate. Excuse me, guys. Yep, just push the gate and you should be out. So just straight along, darling. Thank you. No worries. Thank you for letting me know. All right, everyone's ready.
The people with the baby left. They left the tour and went back out early. So Karen, our guide, did say before we went in that you can leave at any time if you need to, especially if you feel anxious or claustrophobic and don't quite feel comfortable being underground in those enclosed spaces. In the machinery chamber now. This housed huge boilers and machinery.
Most of the spider, mining spiders and those kinds of things, the men actually had to supply themselves. The mines would not.
Yeah. Yeah. They'd supply them at a price.
Yeah, but most of them would build their own.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, we're a state forest at the moment. We are still a state forest.
There are chimneys in this area here to take the smoke and the foul air out. A 150 metre long chimney up to the surface.
Thanks, everyone. All right. So, welcome to our main chamber, everyone. Now, this room used to be 43 metres long. Unfortunately, there was a collapse in the 80s, so we do not go any further back than what we are now. but it is made safe for us to come and do all our tours, but we only stand in about 1/3 of what this room originally was. So it goes to show you how big this room would have been when all these boilers and everything else would have been in here and they were running it through this mine. So, excuse me, I mentioned about another 4 boilers as well, and you can probably see where some of those boilers would have sat today. 937 metres up and down ladders to get into their work area. Just again, remarkable conditions by these men. Now, it took a little while for this incline shaft to be introduced, but again, bit of engineering genius back then. This incline shaft was actually started in 2 sections and they met in the middle. It was 4,000 feet of incline shaft. Again, remarkable efforts. When they did it, they were only about a ½ an inch off from when they actually met in the middle. So just remarkable. These guys, 4,000 feet worth of incline shaft, they said it was a 2-minute trip. From the top to the bottom, and gentlemen were going in at about 50 k's an hour. So I guess some people would probably see that as an amusement ride, but definitely wouldn't be sticking my head up or any of my body parts out if I was on the incline shaft. But that incline shaft...
This is amazing. This is a map of the whole mine. I'm at the very top start of this mine, and it goes down almost 1 kilometre from here. The mine is 8.5 kilometres of underground workings. That diagonal line you see was the incline shaft tunnel with a rail cart. Karen was just telling us people sat in a cart and went down at about 50 kilometres per hour, a 2-minute trip down to the bottom.
I was at footy last night watching my girl play. Oh, that doesn't help either. Depends, so I can do 1 to 3 sometimes. Doesn't depend. I wasn't meant to be in here today. My work area, just remarkable efforts from the gentlemen that were working in these areas. Other parties is for the ore cart. Now, you can imagine there was no OH&S or put food on their families' tables. So as I said, no hard hats or anything like that. The only thing that would have been protecting some of these men as they're heading up and down into these levels was a metal plate that sat at the very top of these ore carts. So remarkable efforts. Other than that, you're probably sitting with your mine partner that you're going up and down that main shaft with, and you probably want to look after each other a wee bit as you're heading in and out. Now, to make sure that this mine ran safely and smoothly. So anytime any ore carts are going up or down any of the levels, there would have been bells rang. If there was an accident, there's bells rang. Now, for the life of me, I kept trying to remember this code sheet. I cannot, so if anyone wants to have a bit of a look at it, feel free to. If anyone wants to take any pictures while we're in here or ask me any questions, please feel free to, and then I'll move us to our next spot in this tour. No. That's why I'm just like... And enjoy yourselves, look after each other. Take care.
Thank you. Thank you.
Great tour guide. Very well spoken.
Oh, Karen, our guide, was amazing. She was so knowledgeable and delivered the tour very, very well. Lots of valuable information. Now, to walk the 270 metres back out of the mine.
Take your time. Yeah, did you see that chart? It was crazy. Oh, I think as time went on, they got better. People that come.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, right. We have to leave it behind. Oh, really? You didn't want to come? Oh, really? The lady in the general store's might go. Oh, really?
Wow, what an amazing tour. It was absolutely fascinating. I highly recommend it. If you're in Walhalla, come on the long extended mine tour. It is well worth it. Wow, amazing. I'm going to take this one off. And the hairnet. Whew. Now I've got a helmet here. That was amazing. Hit that subscribe button. It's a bookmark so you can remember where to find me. Happy travelling, stay safe and enjoy the journey.